This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So coming to the today's session, like we got type 2 implementation. As I said, the rule, what is the use case that I have, and what is the like rules that we have to maintain type 2. These all things we discussed, right? So like the source primary key is not primary key. The source primary key should not be a primary key here. The source primary key should not be a primary key here. Okay, I'll just finish up primary key here. We know what is meant by source, what is meant by here, and there should be a new column as surrogate key. The third one, see, when the interviewer want to ask a question on topic of this part, they'll ask you what are the attributes required to maintain the type 2. It's not like what are the rules required, because as today we are in the learning state, we are saying like rules. But when we go for an interview with some showcasing experience, definitely the people will not ask you the rules. They will ask you what all the attributes required. So in such case, give me 1 minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
So there should be a new column as current flag, and next one is like version. So these are like attributes we have to maintain, and the fifth one is like uh, start date. That is nothing but manufacture date, expiry date. So the last concept, which is end date, and the surrogate key also. I'll just write it once again. So using these attributes, we can or concept we can implement type 2. And I mentioned like my use case is that I have the business in three different areas, and I want to make the employees to get placed permanent in which location. So that is what my use case. So related to that, the problem statement I have given, and what is the how do we find the solution also I have given. Now we got both, but how do we implement it? We are talking today. How do we implement it? We are talking today. Okay. So I hope my voice, my audio, video both are fine. So if any issues, let me know. So I'm going to give my source system data, like my source system data, which is so my source is RDBMS I mentioned. So the OLTP servers, OLTP servers. So how do my data represents with employees information like employee ID, employee name. I have employees gender, surname. I'll give and employees martial status. Just for space constraint, I'm writing this shortcuts. And employees city, and employees joining date, and employees last date, means like last working day. So some information I have like this. Now I want to provide some data on top of it. For three employees, I'll take for suppose like 101. Name is like Raju, and the surname is some X, and status is single, and city is the column, and joining date I want to specify it as 2019 and 01/15 is the joining date for suppose. So last date, tell me what can I do here? I want to specify the last date of the employee. If an employee is joining in any organization, can that employee ask the team, organization management, today I'm joining, no, when you are going to terminate me, can he ask me? Can ask the organization? No. Can organization ask, okay, you are joining today, when you are going to another company or when you are shifting, can I know? Means, can we say? No. We are not sure about this particular date, but but it might happen with many cases. We can have many cases. So what happens in such case means we give some default dates. What are the default dates means? Double nine, double nine, hyphen 12, 31. వాళ్ళు కొంచెం సైడ్ వెళ్ళమా క్లాస్ జరుగుతుంది so this is the dates. So sometimes in interviews people will ask you what are the default dates you people are using in your project. Mention this. Either you can keep null, either you can we can use like double nine double nine hyphen 1231. These are the default dates. So generally, mostly the projects will use. In my whole career, there are two projects which they kept null, but most of the cases they used the same double nine hyphen 1231. So that is a default date. So coming to this, maybe single or married, it's not a big deal to have maintained that. And the city name, I want to give it as Hyderabad. Unfortunately, I given as, and here I want to make it as BLR, Bangalore. And so the joining date again, it is nearby. Uh, so we can just maintain it as, and here also default date double nine, 1231. So next, the third employee details I'll try to provide. The third employee details. May I know who is one someone joined? 103 and the employee's name Suresh I'll give. So XYZ and married I'll give as he is both are like Chennai. And I said what? The location is I said the employees we have three locations double nine hyphen 12. Okay. So we have three locations as I said. I have one employee each I'm taking just for now. How do we first take a step to start up with how do we take a step to start with how do we can say so first of all what I can do here understand the use case find out the solution so to do that we have rules as I said the first one is what we have to find out what are the SCD columns. SCD means what possible changing columns possible changing columns. How we can identify what is the requirement according to the requirement we can find out this. I said I have to maintain the employee's history based on their work location because after completion of the 3 years, I have to decide whether which location should be the permanent one based on their performance in these 3 years, right? So the city is the possibility column which I need to maintain, SCD column. Maybe employee ID is an SCD column, no. Employee name, no. Surname, yes, but it's not required for us. It's not required for us for this solution, correct or not? And employee martial status also is yes, it's a possible changing single to married, married to divorce, divorce to something, It can happen, but still they are not mandatory for us, required for us. And employee city, yes, it is a possible changing column which I required. So what is the rule says, along with your possible changing column, which is maintaining with the primary key uniqueness, use these two columns as a key columns to maintain the history. So employee ID, employee city. These are the key columns to maintain the history for me. So like this, what are the possibility changing columns we have and which are required to maintain the to for our problem. So those within that column, along with that column, we should have one unique key column which is maintaining primary key. So the source, this is maintaining as a primary key. This is what? This is your primary key. This is defined as primary key. My first rule says what? The source primary key should not be a primary key here. So there is no usage of this primary key here. So I'm not maintaining it as primary key. Then what is the next rule? There should be a new column as surrogate key. The new column as surrogate key. So I'll just use surrogate key as a, I'll just give surrogate. The spelling I'll give small case to make it the space constraint surrogate key. Now the source columns as it is, I'll take employee ID and I'll take employee name and I'll take employee surname. Okay, I'll just use it. This one also the similar one, employee ID. I just used EID. It's not EID, employee ID. Okay. So now I can take the copy of this source as it is, and along with surrogate key I can maintain it. And my source primary key should not be a primary key, so I'm just removing the constraint of primary key. And theoretically I can do removing the primary key in such a way like this, right? So next, I said current flag. So I want to create a new column as current flag. And next, version. Next, start date and end date, which is the terminology also you should know. In the projects, we don't maintain as start date, end date. We are going to maintain as effective timestamp, termination timestamp. The naming within the projects also mandatory. You should know those. So effective timestamp, termination timestamp. When you see it, when you see the table structure itself, you should know which type they are maintaining. So here we are going to maintain it as effective to timestamp. And other one is what? Termination timestamp. Termination timestamp. Yes. So last date is not required. I'll remove the last date. So all the rules that I have maintained or not? Exactly. I maintained it. So the last date is not required. This is your current flag version. So coming to this surrogate key. So now whenever the first time the data loads based on these key columns. So who is going to do this flow? Theoretically I'm talking. This is my source information. My target is what? Where I'm going to load this data, where I'm going to maintain it, in which database I'm going to maintain it. Anyone can answer it? My OLAP systems, right? Who is going to extract the data from OLTP server and loading the data into the OLAP? Who is the people? Who is the team? What is the team we are going to expect to do this? I'll just open my demonstration video or demonstration image.
ATL.
ETL, exactly. So ETL people does this. So why we are talking about ETL means, yes, the part of our course is ETL also using Power Query. But Okay, so the ETL people will do this practically within the tool they have. So for now, I got like surrogate key. So how the data will load into surrogate key means we have a concept called sequencer. We have a concept called sequence within the database. Using that sequence, we will generate the surrogate key. And I have 1001 as the starting number of the surrogate sequence, and 101 is the data which I'll get from the source, and the name of that employee will come from source, and X. Okay, I'll try to copy and maintain, because again it will take long time to do that. I'll just do the arrangement. Okay, so just I'm maintaining it like this. Maximum it will be fit, and if not, I can do small arrangement here. The
Hello.
termination timestamp also I got. Any questions? I got some unmute.
Yes, sir. This is Jyoti. Sorry to interrupt.
Can you speak bit louder, because I couldn't hear voice. Can you be bit loud? Jyoti.
Sir,
Yeah.
is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, can you explain some theoretical part regarding that surrogate key, sir? Can you
That's
explain?
that will come in SQL. In the next week, we will cover in SQL. But it is just
Okay.
see 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence. One sequence number it will generate. So that sequence you have to give the start value. You have to give the end value. You have to give the increment value. When you specify these, so start value I given as 1001, 1002, 1003. It will give increment by 1. If I do increment by 1, it will give me the sequence. From 1001 is my start value. So up to 1001, for example, like 2000, up to 2000, my last value is 2000, means 1001 to 2000 I have to generate numbers. If any one of the record is coming and falling from OLTP to OLAP, that record will generate by the maximum. For example, 1006 I am having the maximum surrogate key. Whenever there is a new record coming and falling into here, then it will generate 1007. So like that, up to 2000 only it
So,
can generate.
sorry to interrupt you, sir. So, this is kind of a serial number which is unique for
Yeah,
this table.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. So the
And
surrogate
that
key means
server will automatically generate that surrogate key, yes, sir?
we have to define from the database side. We have to define,
Okay.
means this column.
So,
See,
it
primary
will
key,
be
how did we
only a
define?
number. Will
Only
it be
number.
only a number or
Number,
any
yes,
other?
only number. Only number.
Okay.
Sequence concept from the database will generate only the numbers.
Okay.
Okay. How did we define employee ID primary key table creation type? That same way, surrogate key also we have to give with the sequence number.
Sir, actually, I have one. Like,
May I know your
primary
name?
key is like,
Ayush.
sir, my
Ayush.
name is Ayush.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, primary key is like, it will be unique, now. Means it will be only
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
which will not repeat, right, sir? We will
Uh,
take that, no?
I'll repeat once again about primary key. In the previous session also we discussed. Again I'll discuss. Once I complete this, we will take the questions. Definitely. But if you have pen and paper, just make a note what questions you need to answer,
Okay,
because
okay.
these all things whatever you people asked, my answers are going to come in the next concept once I implement this. So that if you have question now, no problem. But just make a note and just think that whether you got the answer once I complete or not. If I complete and if you don't get the answer, definitely you can ask me the question. Okay. Whatever Jyoti asked and whatever you asked is going, I'm going to repeat them again. Okay. I'll just do that. Okay. So coming to this, I got like double and double hyphen 12. So how do the current flag value will pass? I don't have from source. So there should be a logic behind the current flag. What logic it can be? I'm going to write that logic now. So what is that logic means? If termination timestamp means is not equal to double nine hyphen 12, 31, then it should be what? If it is not equal to double nine hyphen 12, then it should be n, else it should be y. What is n and y? Again I'll come back. no need to worry. So this is like which we'll talk. So is it clear? First of all, the condition is clear. I want to make sure the condition is clear or not. So if the termination timestamp is not equal to double line hyphen 1231, then it should be y, then it should be n, else it should be y. Anyone unmuted?
Yeah, condition is clear.
Okay, fine. Thanks. So next. So based on this condition, the data will be populated. The data will be populated or generated in the current flag. So this is the condition for the current flag. So what is the value now currently? The current flag double line hyphen 1231 not equal to double line hyphen 1231 means n. It is equal to then y. So y I am just giving. So y and indicates y and n indicates. I'll tell you what is that, and even the first value of the version will be 1. So the second record also will be loading. The two records really they don't take much priority because I just want to implement them for the sake of 3 records. That's it. But I don't do anything on the next 2 records. I do just only on the first record. So the same values will come for this next 2 employees also. Now this is your first load. This is your first load. I have to provide surrogate key for this next two employees. Your first load happen from your source to target, from OLTP to OLAP. The data got loaded. This is your first run. Now I want to get see effective timestamp is joining date. Effective termination timestamp is end date. So first I want to ask this employee Raju, what is our business rule? I ask employees to work for every 1 year in every location. After 3 years, we'll take the decision. So now I'm just asking this employee to move for Bangalore. So 1 year completion of Hyderabad. So after completion of 1 year, I have to give end date to Hyderabad employee, Hyderabad record, right? If I just give after completion of 1 year, what I need to do? 2019 01 14 is the Hyderabad's record. So whenever I got a change in the source in the OLTP server, that will affect in the target due to some concept called materialized view. There is a concept called view concept which will be referring to the master table, and we have some concept on top of it that we will have an eye on the source. So whenever we define a materialized view concept, whenever the changes comes in the source, that will affect in the target. See, these all concept we'll talk in the coming sessions. No need to worry about SQL. Okay. So now I'm going to convert this as n. Correct or not? Because of the condition, this should become as n, right? Yes. So due to the condition, this is becoming n. Now what happened? I asked him to move for Bangalore. I'll ask him to move for Bangalore. Why after 1 year again he has to like if I don't he's employee for me. If he work in Hyderabad, if he work in Bangalore, he work in Chennai, he's employee to me. Why should I terminate him from Hyderabad? If I don't terminate him, when he's going and working in Bangalore, he might ask me the Hyderabad salary also. He might ask me the Hyderabad salary also. But I'm not ready to do that, right? I cannot pay 2 salaries. So that is the reason I have to terminate him from first of all from Hyderabad. And in other way, if I want to maintain this within the OLTP server, Hyderabad record also, the employee ID should repeat for 2 times. Will primary key will allow me? No. So what is the joining date? Maybe after terminating from Hyderabad, I'll give him some time, like 1 week of time. So 20th, I'll ask him to go and join. Then again, what is the end date for this Bangalore record? Definitely it is all about the same date. Why? Again after 1 year he might move for the other location. Why can't I give 1 year date again? Maybe in between he might leave the organization. Maybe in between organization might ask him to leave. Anything can happen. So now this is my second run. So that is the reason we have to give the last date as default date double line double line hyphen 12. Anything can happen. That's why we don't give. Maybe yes, after 1 year again he might move for another location, but I cannot do that because in between anything can happen. So now I got my second run. I got a change. Where I got the change? I got the change in the key columns. The earlier change I got only within the last date. I did the last date change without any issues. But now my change is with employee city. Employee city, employee ID, both I have a capture. I'm just observing. I'm my design of ETL I have done that. You people have to observe on these two columns. If I get the value changes on these two which is already loaded, definitely you have to make an entry, new entry. So then what happens? This 101 record will be loaded again as a new record in the new record as a new record with a new surrogate key. With new surrogate key. So the surrogate key is 1004. The sequence, whenever you get the serial number will generate. New record, it will generate the new serial number. Right? And what is the current flag? The current flag is, according to the condition, it should be Y. What is the version now? The version is 2. Because already 101 employee. How do we get the version number? Means if you take the count of employee ID, we get the version numbers. How many times you repeat 101, those many times you get versions. Clear? Now, after again completion of 1 year, maybe I'll just give the last date as for the Bangalore location also. I'll try to provide 1 year after 1 year. 2020 hyphen 19 is the last date for the Bangalore location as well. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm just changing the same date. This date when I give, then what happens again? It will populate with n, but version will be the same. Again it will populate. Again it will change it into n, convert into n. Now if I try to, after completion of 1 year, the termination happened. Again I want to make entry to Chennai, next city, the last city Chennai. So I have to give joining again to Chennai. So just make a concentration. It's very important to get. Almost we are done. So now we are going to get the default date again. Double line hyphen 1231. Now what happened? Again, employee ID, employee city. I have a change. 101 employee is already with Hyderabad. Already 101 employees with Bangalore. Now I am getting as Chennai. So again, when I get as a new record, what will happen? It will generate as a new record. New city, new record. So 101 Raju. These all things theoretically I'm doing with using Paint, but practically ETL tools will do. No need to worry. Once if you know how to design it, enough. So now why? What is the version now? What can be the version? What can be the surrogate key? The version is 3. If you count the employee ID, which is primary key in the source, if you count that, we get version column. And surrogate key is what? 1004. And after completion of Chennai 1 year, 3 years of 3 cities completed. Correct or not? Now tell me where I can place this Raju. Can I place this Raju? Maybe 2020. My joining date I'll provide. This is wrong.
Yes, sir.
This is after 1 year, 1 week I'll give the 2001. I'll give it as 25. Need to ask him to go and join. So this is my start date. Okay. Now in the 2021 year, I can take a decision for Raju now. Tell me, can I take a decision now? If I take a decision, in which city I want to place him? In which city I can place him? Anyone?
Hyderabad. Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Why? Why Hyderabad? What is making you to decide on Hyderabad?
Tanu belongs to Hyderabad and sir.
No, no.
And
See, whether he belongs to Hyderabad, Chennai, doesn't matter. Then why to do these all things? Definitely ask him to, when he belongs to Hyderabad, go and join in Hyderabad, we can say. But my intention is, if I just ask the people to work in their locations, in their hometowns, the problem is maybe the friend circle also will be more. Because of that also, maybe I get some leaves. So, but I want to decide which location they have to work. So I just want to work on these three locations, whether irrespective of these their hometowns and all. So I want to make them work in their location. So which is the location that I have to make?
Wherever his performance was better in which city, so we have to transfer there.
I'm sorry, we don't have.
Wherever his performance got better, in which city his performance was
Yeah,
good.
but I don't have that performance column, right? Yes, perform. I said like based after completion of 3 years, where he performed well, there I can perform. But this table alone, if you see what information you can get, I get the information. My use case is what I want to know which employee is working in which location, the best performance is giving. I want to know. But from which location, from which date to which date he is working, I can say. But I don't know how he is working. So whenever the information of a table is giving you or describing the scenario, that table is called as dimension table. This is your dimension table. The table which will help you to understand what your use case is describing your use case. Such kind of table is called as dimension table. I'll come back to that again. So now I'll take one more table. This table I'll give it as employee ID, the surrogate key. I'll give like employee ID. I'll get it like employee name. Sorry, not employee name. Rating column I'll give, and I'll give it as salary column also, employee salary also. Now the surrogate key values are like this: 1001. The surrogate value I'll just provide quickly: 1001. Employee ID 101. Rating, I'll give the rating as 4 and the salary as some 10,000. And the 1002, the employee ID 102 and the rating as 3 and the salary is 12,000 for suppose. 103, I'll give it as 3, the default rating, and the salary I want to give it as 12,000. And 1004, I'll give it as 101 and I'll give it as 3 and the salary is 15,000. Now I'll define the salaries. Just a minute. I'll define the salaries. I mean, sorry, not salary, rating columns. When I say out of 5, these ratings are given. Out of 5. The rating of 5, if you get 4, we should, I mean, out of 5, if you get 5, he's doing very bad, we should terminate immediately. Out of 5, if you get 4, okay, he's doing bad, he's not doing good, but still we'll give one more option, one more uh, like a chance to prove himself for the next year. If I go for out of 5 for 3, it is default rating. Okay, it's good like default rating. 2 means very good rating. 1 means excellent. 1 means excellent. Tell me now which location we can place this Raju? Which place can be Raju placed?
Chennai only.
Sorry, Sai Kiran.
Chennai, no?
Chennai. How did you say Chennai? On what basis you are saying Chennai?
Uh, Rating basis, sir. You said 1 means strong, 2 is good, no?
Okay, yeah,
So
that is correct.
1005 circuit key is Chennai.
Yeah,
It is showing Chennai.
yeah, but what I'm saying, how did you match Chennai? Because the Chennai is in dimension table, and this is your fact table or measure table, fact or measure we can say. The fact table which will contain all the numeric values and helps to measure the business. Means, see, my requirement got fulfilled when I joined with this table, correct or not? On what basis? Surrogate key. Surrogate key 1005 is related to 1001 customer. The 1005 from this dimension table, 1001 from the fact table. If I just get the rating, highest rating, if I see this is mapped to Chennai, correct or not? So when I say only the dimension table, it will describe the business. If I say the table which you are joining with a table having all the numeric values, and that is helping us to fulfill our requirement, means our decision, we are able to take a decision, that is Chennai. So when we do this, that is called as fact table, the table which contains of all numeric values and helps to take a decision. So that is like fact table. So dimension table means which describes about your business. By looking at the dimension table, we can understand what business you are running, from when you are running, and what are the some dates changes we can see. But it can describe the business, but it cannot measure the business. But who will help to measure means fact. So if you understand this clearly about dimension and fact, I'll tell you what are the rules, how the rules helping. So when I say the source primary key should not be a primary key, why the source primary key should not be a primary key? I said in OLAP we are going to maintain history. How do we are maintaining history? To maintain the history, we have to repeat the employees' names, numbers, employee IDs. If my source is primary key, again that primary key will not allow me to maintain the duplicacy. So that's why my first rule says, the source primary key should not be a primary key. So that is the reason when I remove the primary key, it will allow me multiple repetitions. But when I say primary key is not there, I want to get uniqueness. How do I get? Based on the surrogate key. That's why surrogate key we say which acts like primary key in the warehouse. In the warehouse database, surrogate key is the one which will act like a primary key. Okay. But what is the difference between a primary key and a surrogate key again? Primary key is a constraint. Surrogate is like nothing but a sequence. So constraint means to create a table, we have to get a constraints. Those things we will talk in the next week in SQL. So coming to the surrogate key, which will be created as a sequence. You can use a sequence option concept to implement the surrogate key. So sequence means nothing but generating row by row number. Incremental number. You can do increment by 1, increment by 2 also. If you do by 2, you will get all the even numbers. So that's all like the surrogate key and the primary key. So coming to uh, the next concept, the next rule. I said current flag. What is current flag? Current flag indicates Y and
Hello,
N.
sir.
Yeah,
One
Jyoti.
second. So, మనకి ఇక్కడ ఇంకా ప్రైమరీ కీతో యూజ్ అనేది ఏమి ఉండదా సార్ ఈ 2 టేబుల్స్ని జాయిన్ చేయడానికి?
లేదు, కావాలి, చెప్తాను. అది రేపు నెక్స్ట్ మోడలింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్లో వస్తుంది. అంటే సర్కిట్కి ఉండగా ప్రైమరీకి ఎలా హెల్ప్ అయింది, మళ్ళీ జాయినింగ్ చేయడానికి కావాలి. అది నేను
ఓకే.
మీకు నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అది.
ఓకే.
Okay, so now what is current flag? Current flag is nothing but maintaining y and n, but it's my intention I am maintaining y and n, but in projects it can be -1 and 1 also, -1 and 1 also. So sorry, -1 and 0, no sorry, not -1 and 1, okay, either -1 1, either 0 1. If you want to maintain within numbers, we do like this. So -1 means history, 1 means current record, 0 means history, 1 means current. Like that, n means it's not no, it is history. All the y means current flag. Current flag y means current record. So y indicates current record, n indicates history record. It's not like y means yes, n means no. It's not like that. The version will give you the number of changes. The current record I can pull by using the maximum number of the version based on the employee ID, because the employee ID is repeating. Okay, so this is all like current flag version, and effective timestamp, which is joining date itself we got, we will map this to this joining date.
హలో.
Last date means nothing but the termination timestamp.
హలో.
Hello, yeah Jyoti.
సార్ ఇక్కడ మనకి కరెంట్ ఫ్లాగ్ వల్ల యూజ్ ఏంటి సార్?
Whenever you are trying to fetch only the current records, we use filter with current flag only y records. So y will indicate current flag chala important and current flag is the one which will notify directly, means version we are not using, actually we are not using much, but there is a rule, there is a like a attribute to maintain. Okay, but generally the current flag will help to pull out only the new records, means history records. Okay, so this is all about implementing the type 2 implementation, about the type 2 in the warehouse. Who is going to do these all things, maintenance and all, these all validation checks and everything, generating current flag based on this condition, and maintaining surrogate key and the relationship between these dimensions and facts. The data will be loaded, the data which is coming here, of course I did not give all the columns, but maybe in separate OLTP server, in separate table there will be a rating column also. I did not show that in depth. There will be lot of tables to get these two tables, but for now just for example I'm giving you at a higher level, but at the end of this whole training you will get mostly all these concepts, so no need to worry. Okay, so coming to this OLTP OLAP, so which will maintain in the form of dimension table and the fact table. These two relationship we can get the solution. That's where we can take the decision for the future. So now I can take decision on Raju to place in Chennai because his rating is high there. Before starting this concept also we'll intimate the employees where are you doing, so the people who are interested in their native places they work well, maybe, like it's all about. So like this, to implement that type 2 to maintain history, we use like this. Okay, the dimensional modeling, the data warehouse dimensional modeling, we will talk in the Monday session. It's very important. Again, how do the data maintain in the dimension in the warehouse? It's all about dependent on this today's session. Whenever you are very good at understanding what is dimension and what is fact, definitely the dimensioning modeling will help you a lot. So star schema, snowflake schema, how do we design? I'll take an automobile domain automobile domain solution problem, and on top of it we will build the schemas. Build means practically, not theoretically. Practically we will see when we come into the tools. When you know theoretically first, the process practically we can implement using the tools. No need to worry at all. Okay, once we are closing this session, you have to know all these things. So that is all our agenda for today. So that is all about for today. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. And I'm just asking you people, requesting you people, just use pen and paper when you start the session. Whenever our class starts, use pen and paper. When I am going one by one, just make a note where you have a question, just at high level. Once after completion of the course, sorry, class, after like last 5 to 10 minutes, we'll have a next question in FAQs, question and answers, not FAQs. I'm sorry, question and answers we'll have. So because my concept, I'll train you. I'll start the question. I'll explain you that what is that question and how do we do, and after that I'll give solution. Within that solution, what I am using, all those justification I'll give for the time being, and everything I'll go in step by step process. If really at the end of the day, at the end of the class, if your question is not answered, definitely you can raise. We will have some time for that, okay? Because in between, if I get any question, I don't know my problem with my ear or like I mean to say my headset or today's link or network or whatever it is. Sometimes I'm not able to hear your voice. Jyoti voice is not proper, but Harita is like Harita voice I'm able to hear properly. So there is a small concern with that. So I request all of you to do this, to maintain your pen and paper with you or book with you. Don't write running notes and all. We have materials, hard copies will provide. So just make note of it, and at the end we can clarify all these questions. Okay, that's the plan of the training you can do. Okay, I'm just stopping the recording for today.